Hey there, my friend. It's time for our weekly wisdom card draw. This time is for you to pause, to ground yourself in the moment, to connect with yourself, your dreams, your visions, and to reclaim the power that you have to move through life deliberately rather than by default. And through all of that, you can commit or recommit to shining your light in the world. I'm going to draw a card from our deck, which is still in PowerPoint, but going to be a card deck later this year. And before I do that, as usual, I want to invite you to just arrive in this moment. Let yourself pause. Let yourself breathe. Maybe you want to place a hand on your heart. And just take a break from whatever you're doing, wherever you've been going. Just take these couple moments to pause and give yourself this time for you. You can notice your environment. If you're in a place that you are often and notice that you kind of have stopped noticing what's around you, take this moment to consciously and deliberately look around and notice as if you're looking at your surroundings for the first time. You can also close your eyes if that feels good and just notice your breath coming in. Notice it going out. Not needing to change anything, just noticing what's already here. Letting yourself connect to this present moment. And as you continue to connect and breathe and be, I'm going to bring the cards to my heart and ask to be guided to the message that will be of most service to you today. What message do you most need to hear to spark whatever idea or action or feeling that will bring you closer into alignment with who you really are? And putting that intention out there, I'm going to shuffle the cards. You can just keep breathing, keep being, keep noticing whatever it is that you're doing to bring yourself into the now. And they don't want to shuffle today, and that's okay. All right. And our card is, connection. I mentioned connection already, didn't I? All right, connection. We have some jellyfish at the Monterey Bay Aquarium in California. And if you've ever seen these jellyfish in their tank, they're first of all super relaxing and cool, but they just sort of ooze and float along when they have all these tentacles that are all kind of intertwined. There's a bunch of jellyfish in this tank and they're all just connected together, like kind of like, mushrooms in the mycelium layer and all that kind of thing. Don't get scared if you've seen The Last of Us. All right. So enough sidetracks. Let's read the actual message. All right. The message of connection. The tentacles of our hearts are entwined with many others. Sometimes the connection is close and obvious. Sometimes it's peripheral. We may touch others we're not even aware of, yet we still touch. Be gentle with your touch. Be kind. You may never know the profound impact you've had on another. You may receive gratitude for your impact every day. The external validation feels good, but is not the goal. What does your heart feel when you nourish your connections? When you spread love? When you experience joy? When you share your joy with the world? You're here to bring more loving connections into the world, starting with a loving connection with yourself. Be gentle. Be kind. In the serene complexity of the sea in which we float, what will you bring to the connected collective field today? Let that sink in for a moment. All right, so what a, yes, I love this one. And this is all about being who you really are in the world, spreading love, spreading joy, not because you're going to get rewarded for it or get accolades for it, but because it really just feeds the world, literally feeds the world with energy that lifts us up. And again, I talk about shining your light in the world all the time. And that is what you're here to do. So this idea that you may know when you're having an impact on someone, and you may not know the impact that you're having, and you may never find out. Sometimes you do. Sometimes people, there's all kind of stories of people who, 10 years down the road, somebody contacts them and says, hey, you said this thing 10 years ago, and it really affected me and affected the course of my life. Whoa. I mean, that's pretty profound. And you going through your daily life are having impacts and connections like that, whether you know it or not. So whether someone comes to you in 10 years and says, hey, thank you so much for that time you did blah, 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 it's having an impact. So how will you walk through the world? You get to decide. You get to choose. And think about the people who've impacted you. And we said this isn't necessarily about accolades, but imagine if there was someone that you could reach out to today who has had a profound impact on you, who maybe you haven't thanked or don't thank very often. You will actually feel even better than they do when you do something like that, when you reach out to somebody and say, hey, this might seem small to you, but it had a really big impact on me. Because like the jellyfish and the tentacles that are intertwined, we are always intertwined with everyone else on this planet. People you have not even met, you are having an impact on. Maybe because you impact one person who then goes out and impacts someone else, who impacts someone else. And your influence radiates out into the entire world. And again, you get to decide how you're going to show up in that impact. And the more the more you are your true self, the more kind of automatic gentleness and kindness and radiance you'll bring to the world. So think about that. Let's take another moment to just pause and let that settle in, this influence and impact and connection that you can create just by being yourself. Just take a moment to settle. Maybe asking yourself the question, what am I going to feed the collective with today? How do I want to be nourished? And know that because we are connected, you are receiving nourishment from others at the same time as you're giving it out. So without the goal or intent of accolades or gratitude, where can you be your own gratitude and feed the field what your heart really wants to feed it? All right, here's our connection again. Be the jellyfish, float along, and bring the power and strength, beauty, and connection of you to the world. I hope you have an amazing week. Notice your connections, express gratitude for your connections, and know that how you are today impacts the entire world. Have an amazing one. Thank you.